Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back with another video, and today I'm going to give you guys my review for the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy's Kingdom Red Alert. And this was a Walgreens exclusive, which I want to give a special thank you to Brandon, one of my subscribers, who sent this to me. And because my local area, if you guys are familiar, isn't really good at finding a lot of these figures, and a lot of Walgreens exclusive usually escape me. But taking a look at the packaging, of course, it's that very typical, packaging. Red Alert there stands. It is a retool of the Siege mold. So if you already have the Siege mold and you already customized it, it's kind of like, okay, well, why do I get this? And I was like, do you want an Earth mode? And that's really what it's all about. And which of course you can see here on the back, but I'm going to take him out and give you guys a quick rundown on him. So without further ado, let's sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch on my spring store today. Alright, so out of the packaging here is Kingdom Red Alert, and it seems what they've tried to do with this particular release of the figure, outside of retooling it like they did for Sideswipe, is that they were going for a combination of his G1 toy and his animation, model. But at the same time, they kind of seem to have missed a little bit on both in colors. With the red arms, I'm not really a big fan of that, of course. And the red legs is a G1 toy thing, but the animation model had white legs, so it's like, oh, well, now what do you do, right? But he comes with two guns. One is his black gun here, as well as a shoulder cannon. And the shoulder cannon does have a missile which can fire, but in packaging, I believe that they come together in one piece. You put that on your shoulder, on a shoulder like this, and there you go. And it's pretty much what you expect if you already have any figures with the Sideswipe mold, because he's been released, like the actual mold itself has been used so many times. It was used for Gigawatt, it was used for the Siege Sideswipe and Siege Red Alert, and and you'll see, I'm going to compare, a few of them. So you should already be familiar with a lot of the posability that this particular figure has, but it's still a good figure. So it's not like it's like a terrible figure overall, but just comparing it and contrasting it to, other figures that came, before and after it. Here he is with his G1 counterpart, and you can see the difference there. We had the red legs, and this is where I wish that his forearms were either white or, painted silver, or maybe like a gray, because it would have made a lot more sense overall. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we got now an Earth mode. And like I said, with his G1 toy had a black head, whereas like in the cartoon, they gave him a red head to help differentiate him between him and Sideswipe, even though it's using the same mold. There are a lot of subtle differences. And then, of course, comparing him to his Siege counterpart, as well as the Skywarp 2-pack that came with Sideswipe for an Earth mode. You could see now, this is obviously the same exact mold, and the differences between this one and the Earthrise, or the Earthrise one and the Kingdom, or Siege one and the Kingdom figures. So it's like, okay, all right, they gave us an Earth mode for Red Alert, but now I almost feel like I've got to do a whole bunch of extras in order to get a better looking shoulder cannon. I'm going to have to wait for Toy Hacks to come out with labels for him. And, come on, like, it's almost like it's a detriment in my opinion. But at the same time, if you missed the Siege release and you're able to find him at Red Alert, the Red Alert at Walgreens, then go for it. But you can see the differences between them all. And keeping it as red as I possibly can, you can't have Red Alert without his buddy Inferno. And I also decided to add Firestar, or as the figure was released as Nova Star, along with Road Rage, Cliff Jumper, and Optimus Prime. Now moving on to transformation, if you are familiar with the Siege mold, you probably already know how to transform it, but just in case you do not, we are going to do so here. What we're going to first do, of course, take off the arms. I'm going to fold the hood up, and then waist down, lift his arms up so we can get the door panels out of the way. arms go in like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open the legs, push these pieces in like so, and at the same time you're going to push the feet in. Then we're going to rotate them around, bring it closed, and just like that, that's just how you transform it. Very, very simple transformation. I'm still kind of disappointed. I mean, I know it's a gray plastic, but you can still kind of see the insides there. And, you know, the wheels themselves have not changed from the Earth mode. The Siege, the Kingdom Sideswipe has the same issue. And of course, he doesn't have his trademark spoilers, which is something that all of these Lamborghinis are supposed to have, and for whatever reason, throughout the War for Cybertron trilogy, none of them had them, and so every third-party manufacturer has done so. And then, of course, we have the tail lights, which are not painted, but they're just, you know, plain, and that's fine. But as far as a car mode is concerned, he does look great. For an Earth mode, if that's what you're looking for, or if you do like the more stylized appearance of the Siege mode, which we're going to take a look at real quick. And for some comparisons here, we have G1 Red Alert, which unfortunately I am missing the spoiler, but just taking a look at all of the detailing that they did do to the figure in order to try and make it as close to it as possible. But I'm sure we're probably going to see a Toy Hacks set for this in the near future. And of course, the big two comparisons is comparing it to the other release for the Earth mode for Sideswipe, and then of course we have him next to Red Alert, which I don't have any of the spoiler kits yet for these two figures, but I did do so for the Siege one, which you can see all of the paint work, and you know, I painted over here, and then of course I got the Toy Hacks labels in order to give him a lot more detailing, and then at the same time got a spoiler kit in order to try and make this an Earth mode. So this is something that's probably something more feasible if you're not able to find this one in stores. But if you miss this one and you are able to find this one, this is still a great looking car. In fact, I would almost venture to say, I'm torn which one I like better between these two. If this had as many upgrades as this one had, it's okay, which one do I go with? And then comparing and contrasting the two, Earth modes for Sideswipe and Red Alert that share a mold, it's very much the same vehicle, but at the same time on both of them, you can see, I don't really care for being able to see the innards of it in Earth car mode. And going along with the theming of all of his red Autobot counterparts that I have here for Earth modes, except of course for Firestar, here is Red Alert along with Cliff Jumper and Road Rage, Optimus, Inferno, and of course Sideswipe. So overall, I mean, this mold is a good mold. I do like the figure. It's not that I don't care for it. I'm there are some things where I'm oh man, I'm a little bit disappointed, in the color choices for it being the Earth mode, especially after I already have, Siege Red Alert, and I've already done a lot of custom work to this figure, and it's do I need to do the same thing to this one in order to make it the best version of the character, or should I just keep him on the shelf? I mean, I don't know, that's where I'm on the fence about it, and I know some people probably feel that same way too if they already have the Siege figure as well, but some are still hunting for him. And if you can find him on Walgreens.com, like a lot of people have, or if you have a friend I have who thank you very much, Brandon, for sending me this figure, because otherwise I would not have been able to get it, because my local Walgreens is rather terrible when it comes down to stock. But that's the thing, it's trying to find this figure, and if you already have the Siege one, is it worth it? It's kind of like a balancing act of what do you decide to do. But I wonder what you guys think about Kingdom Red Alert. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have many more Transformers discussions, retrospectives, and reviews coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.